Hot take, retargeting for you is probably stupid. Yes, I get it. I get it. Everybody says you're supposed to do it. I get it. I get it. It's getting you better results. I get it. I get it. You're testing there and things are going well. I get it. I get it. You're supposed to be hitting people a second time and overcoming some objections. I get it. I get it. You're pointing to other people that are seeing great success and it's something that you were told that you absolutely have to do. Well, let me tell you why all of that is probably wrong. Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm here to help you begin to win at Facebook. Retargeting is probably stupid. Let's go. So, let's get to the bottom of what retargeting actually is. Retargeting, or sometimes called remarketing, or mid-of-funnel and bottom-of-funnel audiences, and a whole other slew of names, but those are the primary ones. What you're doing is you're segmenting individuals that have shown either some awareness of who you are or some level of intent to take the action that you want them to. Now, it makes sense ideologically that you would want to treat these people differently than somebody that has never seen you before. Somebody in prospecting. We'll get to why that's absolute nonsense as well. Now that makes sense. It also makes sense that, well, if they already told you no, or they didn't want to buy, or they didn't want to sign up, or give you their email or whatever, then you should probably come up with some way of addressing whatever that need was, whatever that concern was, whatever that thing was that, well, that prevented them from pulling out their credit card, right? And it makes sense that somebody probably doesn't want to buy the first time, and you know, they've probably got some objections you need to overcome. Overcoming objections, huge big thing, and you need to have a well-crafted rebuttal. So why not segment them out? And it also makes sense that, well, my add to cart audience gets a far better, cost per than my insert random interest group that you shouldn't be targeting anyway because interest groups are stupid. There's a playlist. But let's get to another point here. Retargeting is built around the idea that somebody has shown themselves to be of higher quality for whatever reason, so you're trying to focus in on them and then not only treat them differently, but make sure that they get a specific amount of your budget. Now, while that does make sense, intellectually it checks off all the boxes. Hey, back 10 years ago, that was 100% the thing you were supposed to do on a completely different platform that has no bearing on Facebook at all. It might still be the best practice for, I don't know, search. Or not search, I guess that'd be branded search would be retargeting. But let's say, I don't know, inventory, display, right? Or programmatic, or something else that has absolutely nothing to do with the curated news feed. So let me break a couple bubbles here and really get down to the sense of why retargeting is probably stupid. Number one, you can target broad, and you're probably retargeting. Let me break it out even above that. Every ad is a retargeting ad. Every single ad, every single impression is a retargeting ad. Unless you are somebody that has invented something completely new, then somebody's already aware of what it is that you're selling, or the product or service that you have to offer, right? Now maybe you're a sneaker company and they've never heard of you, but you didn't invent sneakers. You didn't invent shoes. They're already aware of what you're doing. So by the time they see your shoe ad, it's not like, wow, there's a thing I can put on my foot. That's mind-blowing. They already have some interest. Not only that, but Facebook is using people's search history and people's navigation history and what other pixels that they've fired on every other website and all the words that they've used to say, well, hey, this person's actually in the market for buying a shoe. They were on Adidas yesterday. They were on Nike this morning, but they haven't bought. Maybe they'll respond to your ad. So by the time that person who you would consider a prospect sees your ad, they're being retargeted. And now I hear you saying, okay, well, that's not retargeting for my brand. Maybe it is. Unless you only exist on Facebook. They may or may not have been to your website. They may or may not have seen a TV commercial. They may or may not have had a friend or something that somebody mentioned something to somebody. Like you might not be by the time that they see the very first impression from you, or honestly, after they take the first engagement or a click or watch the first video, it might not be the first time. Let me put it this way. What if somebody already saw 10 of your ads on Facebook already, but they never clicked? Are you excluding them? No. There's no way for you to prevent somebody that was exposed to an image ad from being in your prospecting on it. So your prospecting is already retargeting. And also remember, Facebook's primary objective is to utilize their inventory to deliver business results to their advertisers so that they can, one, sell their inventory. That's the primary objective. So what I really want to get here is, should you prioritize making your prospecting ads dumber by excluding them from seeing high quality traffic, basically actively preventing them from learning, while also making them less and less efficient? Because you think that if as long as I have a really high producing profit margin in my bottom of funnel, I can absolutely afford to keep Facebook really stupid at the top of the funnel. At what point does that stop working? How much do you need for it to actually work? Let me put it this way. How much money do you need to be spending so that you actually need to focus on hitting somebody that has already told you no, or that has already been exposed to you in some fashion in a segmented way? I'd argue you have a much better chance of actually making Facebook stable, that's easier to manage, that will allow you to see improvement over time by focus on creative testing in a single top of funnel audience that can see the whole universe. Because remember, when you're targeting broad, let's say you're targeting 18 plus men and women who live in the United States. Well, it doesn't mean that those ads are going out to just anybody. It means they're going out to the people in that audience that Facebook thinks are most likely to take the action that's going to get you to spend money. Who's going to take that action? Somebody that has never heard of you before, maybe. But what about somebody that was just on your website? Well, they're probably likely to respond. Why not let broad see them? Let me put it to you this way. Instead of you micromanaging Facebook, actively keeping some things dumb and by focusing on other things that aren't scalable, why not let Facebook make the decision of how to deliver you the business objective that you've already defined is your primary focus? Delivering X result at X cost. I know that's a challenging statement. I know it fundamentally goes against what most people were taught. I know it's hard to think that 2013 Google display best practices aren't necessarily the right thing to do in 2021 Facebook. But I'd rather, instead of you challenge me on that, maybe challenge yourself and just say, well, why is this thing what I'm still doing? Who else retargets? Does television retarget? Television ads don't. Do print ads? Do billboards? Retargeting is a function that we've been allowed to do in the digital world that was really brought to light as a best practice when you were able to control the customer experience and when you didn't have a platform that optimized towards the user's behavior. Retargeting is probably stupid for you. I've been in places where retargeting was working. Now let me tell you, if you are pushing your efficiency and you're getting to 500 a day, 1,000 a day, 2,000 a day, let's say you get to $2,740 a day, which means you're spending $1 million a year. Odds are you're not retargeting, or you don't have to. When you get to the point where there is no greater gain to be achieved by getting a better ad in place, and where automated rules no longer can provide you incremental lift, and where you've maxed out your landing page and your customer experience and everything else, then you might need to go in there and say, you know what, I'm gonna make my prospecting ads, I'm gonna make those dumber, because it's good for my business to focus in on somebody. Now, where is this not necessarily true? If you retarget with a DPA ad, show people a carousel of options, or retarget with an upsell. Somebody didn't want to buy at full price. What about buy two get one free? What would you offer them on the third day of an email that you could pay money for on a Facebook campaign, where yes, you do sacrifice some of that AOV, but because your CPA doesn't rise by that same level of revenue that you would give up for the sale, it's actually beneficial for you to accomplish. Let me put it to you this way. Let's say the item is $50. Buy two, get one free. You're selling 3 of them for $100. Now you say, well, I'm losing $50 on that sale. But if you've already lost the sale and you can give up $50 on your AOV for $10 more on a CPA and then close the deal, isn't that better for you? Just something to think about. Retargeting is probably stupid. Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm here to help. Let me know what else I can do for you. See you next time.